What's up, everybody? Good morning.
Buenos dias.
Happy
How you
Friday.
doing, everyone?
Hey,
Happy Friday. What's going
what's
on? What's
going
going
on,
on?
everybody? I hope you guys missed me last
Buenos
week.
dias.
Welcome. Welcome to Real Estate Unwrapped. Okay, I
We
know I wasn't
definitely
on
missed you.
last week. I was stuck in a plane. I was delayed.
Yeah.
But I saw the episode, the skits, man. You guys killed it. So much knowledge, dropping so many gems, man. We had Gary Etienne on, so that was awesome. But
Yeah, Gary and his wife, Maria Diaz, as well. She was on there. It was really fun.
yeah, man.
Really,
So
really
I'm
fun.
excited to be back. I'm happy to be back. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back in town. Unfortunately, Gigi is now, I guess she's at the terminal, right? She said she was jumping on the plane too.
Yeah. She should be right now hanging out at the terminal, waiting to
Yeah,
get on that
right.
plane.
She's probably 5 o'clock somewhere, man. For some reason, when you get to like the, when you get to
Oh,
the
man.
terminals, it doesn't matter what time it is, man. You just feel like I need to have a drink.
That's it. I don't know why. And it's not
You
coffee
know?
we're talking about here. You need to get in there and just start flying already. So I agree 1,000%.
Dude,
But the flight back never works.
I know, right? It's like you don't want to go back. You don't want to go back, and then it's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. But guys, we're excited to be here. I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be back. But we have a very, very special edition of Real Estate Unwrapped. It's always special. But before we start, we'd like to say good morning, everyone. All right. Good morning. Let's show
Good morning, Muhammad Ali. Good morning. Manap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I can't even pronounce his name, but thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. All right.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
today, look.
Go ahead, Israel. You got this.
No. This is good, man. Look, honestly, one of the fun things I'd like is, we've been in this industry for a little bit, and there's always these little myths, right? These little nuances that they're like, what? That doesn't make sense, right? So, hey, Gigi's just chimed on, said good morning. So, and then with all that being said, it's like, I've seen 20 or 30 of them that it actually makes no sense to me. And I look forward to actually speaking about these right now because, they're silly. Some of them are silly. Some of them are like, I don't think so.
Yeah, these are some crazy myths that we stumbled across. We came across a few articles, and then we put some ideas together, and we want to just kind of go through it thoroughly with you guys. We're going to give you our inputs. We're going to give you our inputs on some of these myths. Some of them are pretty comical.
I think so.
But overall, we want to make sure we kind of go through that with you guys. So as we kick it off, let's jump right into it. So silly real estate beliefs that won't go away. So these are the myths that we're going to be going through. So Israel, you can start with the first slide, man, if you can.
Yeah, of course. So if the first offer was good, that means my home was worth more, much more. Usually what happens is that, the thing is, what I love about this myth is that it's, yes, most times, most of our ideas is that the first offers is always the best offer, right? But it's a starting point for a buyer. When it comes to marketing your home, always the first week or week and a half, usually the first 10 days, is the hottest portion of your home. So everybody wants to get in there. And then buyers who have been looking for a long time, once they see that house, they want to put it in the offer right away. So it's not that your home is the best home right away, but the fact that it's really the newest home in the market. And when it's the newest home and they love it, they like it, they want to make sure they jump on it right away. So yes, at that point, again, buyers are just trying to jump on it, make sure that they actually get their offers in right away. And at the same time, yes, most times it is the best offer. However, it is a good starting point offer if it's really close to the asking price that you're asking for.
Yeah, I remember hearing this in the office one time. There was an agent that was just like, "Yeah, man," and I remember him saying this, like, "Yeah, like if you get a decent offer, like all the other offers that come in after that are gonna be less." And I was just like, "Really?" Like you would think if you priced it right? Like if you priced it right, you're gonna create competition. You're gonna create interest. People that have maybe been looking for 3, 4, 5 months for a home got outbid, and now they're looking for this home. I mean, if it's priced right, in my opinion, you're going to get more for it. You know what I mean? If it's in a good location, the right price, good size, what people are looking for, you're going to get a ton of other offers that come in. So I think that's kind of that myth, right? Like, I'm not too crazy about that one. That one was like, I don't believe it too much. You know what I mean?
A nice myth buster on that one, right?
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one. So
cool.
The fact that you just said pricing, I love that because it falls into the next one, which is pricing an apartment or a home. You know, obviously it says apartment here, should include wiggle room for negotiations. You know, you're always going to negotiate regardless.
Yeah.
You know, there's whether it's high or low, you're still always going to negotiate the price. You're going to negotiate terms. So pricing it, you want to price it, as you just said, in a way to actually draw more attention to most buyers out there, and you know, and actually get them to actually bid against each other. So that's really the best way to pricing. You want to make sure that it's priced in a way that's not going to stay in the market for a stale amount of time. You want to be there at the point that most people want to jump on it as quick as possible in order to put their offer in.
Yeah. I think it's good to kind of go back and forth with your client if you're representing the seller, to have that conversation, to have an idea of what's the least they're willing to sell their home for. And through that, you can try to price out fairly. You know what I mean? You could leave some room for negotiations, but it all depends on the market that you're in. Nowadays, it's crazy, right? Like I'm seeing that here, especially with houses that are fully detached. They're flying off the shelf. You know what I mean? You can price it. You're probably going to get a bunch of offers coming in. People are going to start outbidding each other. And, you know, people are just like, oh, man, I could just price my house and sell it. You know, again, it all comes down to pricing. You don't want to overdo it, even though the market is hot. You could be in a seller's market and still try to price high. But again, people are looking for the right price. They're not going to just pay anything for it, you know?
That's right. That's right.
But awesome, man. We'll go on to the next one, right? So myth numero dos. Overpricing will give us more room to negotiate and get us a higher closing price. I'm going to have to say no because think about it, right? You put a house on the market. If the average house in the neighborhood is selling, let's just say hypothetically for $500K, and you're like, my house is brand new, I'm going to put it out there for $1 million. The houses in the neighborhood aren't selling for that price. So people aren't going to necessarily go and say, yeah, you know what? This is great. I'm going to pay $1 million. No, houses, everybody's looking at what is selling in the neighborhood, right? That's why when you price it close to what the other homes are selling for. That way you can create that sense of urgency. If you overprice something, that's not creating a sense of urgency. You're just putting it out there. And, you know, if people qualify, they might look at it. But imagine if you priced it competitively. Imagine if you priced it maybe 10% below what the market is calling for. Now you're going to pull the attention of other buyers. You're going to pull a different kind of group of people that want to see what your home is about, you know, and through that creates that competition. That creates the bidding wars. That's my opinion. What about you, Iz?
I mean, that's a great opinion. And honestly, you know, it's one of those myths that's also an objection. Right. So whether the seller says, hey, listen, let's overprice this in a way that actually, you know, we can get a nice higher closing price. Honestly, no. I mean, again, you nailed it on the head. You know, if you think about it, you take a product, whatever product it is, let's just say an iPhone, and you say an iPhone's worth $100. How many people are going to jump on that? A lot of people are going to jump on it right away versus, hey, it's worth $3,000. Again, how many people are going to jump on that? So, except for the Apple fans out there, I'm sure they're going to jump on it anyways. But the average buyer that, you know, that's out there looking, you know, at the same time, if it's priced correctly in a certain way, no matter what, because they're in competition of themselves, it's going to get you the price that you may be looking for at the end of the day. So that's really a great way of doing it.
Yeah, be strategic on what you're doing. Don't just think, hey, I'm going to overprice this because it's beautiful. Yeah. I mean, I don't think people are going to pay that much for beauty, but okay.
You never know.
But all right, let's jump over to the next one. Go ahead, Iz.
All right. You don't have to depersonalize your home. So I'm actually on a 50-50 with this one because, I've been in homes where, you see pretty much from the family's pictures to the newest born to the family pets pictures and so on and so forth. So where I'm a little 50-50 on this is that it always depends on the buyers that you're dealing with. And then at the same time, if you're dealing with the seller side, it has a different myth behind it, right? So
Yeah.
in the seller side, this is no longer your home. Okay, this is no longer your abode. So you need to sort of depersonalize it in a certain way to have the person who's going to walk in here feel like it's going to be their home, feel like they're going to be living here, feel that they're going to be putting their furniture in certain ways, not that it's somebody else's home. So taking out the pictures, making them feel a little bit more comfortable as they walk through, it's something that works out. However, sometimes by having a personal pictures as a buyer version of it, it also depends on the families. If you're dealing with a family, sometimes they like to have pictures around to say, "Oh my God, this feels like a family home." So it's a 50-50 for me on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on that. I don't think you have to depersonalize. I think this should have said you have to declutter eyes. You know what I mean? Like if you have a ton of stuff in your home, yes, you should probably declutter. Depersonalize, I don't think you should. The only reason why I say that, and I'll give you a perfect example. We were in Florida looking at some properties, right? We've come across homes that were completely vacant. They did the renovations completely vacant. And as we walk through it, you can hear, oh, well, it doesn't feel homey-ish, right? People are looking for that homey feel. And when you walk into a home that's actually personalized and people have their decorations and they have their setups and they have their home kind of laid out a specific way, people can feel that. People can say, oh, wow, this feels very homey-like. You know what I mean? I like this place. So you're right, man. I could kind of agree with you on that, like a 50-50. If you have a lot of
another way to
put it away, yeah. But if you have some pictures or personal stuff, it's okay. You don't have to take that off the wall.
Right. And a perfect example of that is, let's just say you do have a vacant home, and those who do virtual stagings or those who do staging, obviously the personal pictures are not in there, but it does make them feel like home.
Yeah.
So you should declutter. You should make them feel like they want to live here.
Yeah.
Regardless of the fact. So
yeah, sometimes people can't see past that. And that's basically our job to help you kind of get an idea of what you're looking at. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Sweet. Let's go to the next one.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful bathroom, by the way. Myth. I don't even know what number we're up to. But if I redo
doesn't matter.
Or bathroom, I will recoup my investment when I sell. That right there, it's funny because I remember coming across an article that spoke about putting money into a property or investing. And I remember seeing that it said, even though you invest X amount of dollars as an investor, you're probably going to recoup 70% of that. You know what I mean? So people just have an idea of, oh, if I put $10,000 into my house, I'm going to get $20,000 additional on the sale of my property. But if you spend $10,000 on painting the entire house, that's not going to get you $10,000 extra for the property. You know what I mean? If you spent the money in the right places, and it always comes, in my opinion, and Israel, like if you have a different opinion, definitely throw it in there. But in my opinion, I think that if you're going to invest money, the key places to invest them would be the bathroom and the kitchen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You can do floors too if you'd like, but I think that's the biggest place. Anybody can repaint a room, but not everybody can replace toilets, showers, tubs, and sinks and faucets in a room. You know what I mean? So that's what people are looking for. If people are cooking, they like the cleanliness and the space. If people like, again, bathroom, same concept, space, cleanliness to make sure it looks nice and clean. So that's where I would focus putting my money on investing.
So when speaking about it, and I'll speak about it in sort of two different ways, in the sense that when you're going to invest, to sell, because you're ready to sell, you're ready to go, and you've already pretty much did the wear and tear in your kitchen, your wear and tear of the bathroom. You don't have to, exactly what you said, invest so much. Don't put cheap materials in it, but make it look nice. right? If your kitchen cabinets are falling apart, put some nice ones in there. Make it look nicer, all right? In the sense that you're not gonna recoup all that money, but you don't want to put in so much renovations into it also. However, I always say that to sellers, don't think that you're gonna put in 10 and get 10, 20 back. You may get half or at least a little bit more, but you're not gonna get the entire receipt back. So keep that in mind as you work in your house. And painting is always a plus. Always refresh and repaint your house. And another thing I always say is, if you're going to renovate, you're not ready to sell. This is for sellers who are future. If you're not going to sell and you're thinking about renovating, think about it in two ways. Are you renovating for your pleasure, or are you renovating for your next buyer? Think about it that way. So those are your two ways of looking at it.
Yeah, it's true, man. Sometimes people want to put these expensive tiles or this crazy looking paint, and then they're like, "You know where I got this paint from? I got this from Italy, bro."
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah. Not
do you remember?
cares.
Do you remember a while ago when we were doing this? Gigi had mentioned, I think it was a golden toilet.
Oh yes, the golden toilet or the golden bidet.
Golden bidet.
Yeah, like not everybody's gonna care about a golden bidet.
No,
if I was buying a house and they were trying to sell me this golden bidet inside that house, I would tell them to take out the golden bidet, take that golden bidet with you, and reduce the price of the property because I don't need it.
Oh my God! Reduce and make it into a Pandora charm.
That's it, right? Make it into a Pandora charm. Put it in front of the house. Put it in front of the house.
Oh my God. Oh man, that's terrible. All right, so this one I actually found very interesting. I've been in this business for a little bit, and little things like this actually put a quick interest into me. In order to be considered a bedroom, a room must have a closet. So I did a little bit of history on this one, and I think it was in 1900s, late 1800s, early 1900s. Rooms weren't actually considered a bedroom only with a closet. They actually didn't even have a closet inside. The closets were on the outside, right? So what's considered a bedroom is actually just obviously your four walls and the floor, and then the windows. That's a room. That's a bedroom, right? So it all depends. Of course, things have evolved, and people wanted closets in their bedrooms. But back then, the way they actually designed the houses is that it was just your four walls, floor, window, and your closets were outside. Wow. So that's very true. And to this day, appraisers, I was just talking to one the other day. He says that's true. So appraisers actually just flow with that as well, which is, it doesn't need to have a closet inside.
Yeah,
which is pretty cool.
It's funny because for example, I have a listing that's a junior 4 or a 2-bedroom. So it's considered a smaller bedroom. But a lot of junior 4s that I've come across, like you said, there is no closet. So some people you could use it as a bedroom, but it doesn't have a closet. The minute you have a closet in a junior 4, the second bedroom that's small, it's almost like not every junior 4 has a closet in that second bedroom. Look at this second.
That's right.
It has a closet. You know what I mean? So it's interesting how time has evolved on that.
So what's interesting too, I actually have a listing now that the second bedroom, it's big. You can put a king size bed in there, a couple of furniture, whatever. It's big, but it has no closet. I just literally was looking for the closet when I first walked in. I was like, "Where's the closet?" And it doesn't have one. So yeah, it's interesting. This one's a little interesting to me.
Yeah, if there's a closet, if there's a window and a closet, in New York City, perk. It doesn't matter how big that room is, they'll still use it as a bedroom.
Hey, there's a 450 square feet studio out there, so yes, they will.
That's how it is. But next myth, you can outmaneuver the co-op board. I'm going to tell you this right now. This is not true. This is nowhere near true because I was just talking to Israel about this, man. We had a contract. They had a board interview. They were going through the whole process, man. We swore to God that they were going to get approved. And even though from a financial standpoint, this person was sound, they still interview you. They still ask you questions. And if you're not paying attention, you're going to trip yourself, because they're going to ask you the same question in probably 5 different ways. And if your rebuttal is, if you're tripping as you're giving back your rebuttal, or if you're just stumbling or stuttering, that could potentially be a red flag. So if you're going to try to outmaneuver, I would highly recommend to do a lot of research. If you Google how to go on a board interview, you're going to get articles from Street Easy. You're going to get articles from realtor.com, just kind of going through the interview process. Again, they're going to be checking for their neighbor. It's almost like going on a job interview. So if they're asking you questions personally, it's because they want to make sure that you're sound. And if they do not allow pets, or if they don't allow if they don't allow gifting as a purchase, make sure you don't mention that. You know what I mean? And if they see that you have purchased pet supplies, for example, you got to have a way to counter that. You know what I mean? So I would highly recommend do your due diligence, go through the board applications. All right. As much as we try to maneuver through things and get through it, just please keep that in mind, because they're going to ask you questions. And if you're not in your A game, that right there, it doesn't matter how financially sound you are, they will reject you.
I agree. So, and that's actually, I mean, you've hit a lot of good points there. So really, I mean, I always get questions about co-ops, right, from other states as well, and other people that we know. So co-ops, to me, and the way I always look at it, it's always a 50-50 chance whether you can make it or not. You know, don't think that you have the golden application always, right? And as a seller, I mean, you're not always, keen on to what to look for when it comes to an application. So one of my first really great advice on this is that always get a real estate agent who's familiar with co-ops to look over the applications to get the right buyer for you, to qualify the buyer for you in order to know if they can move forward or not, right? I've worked with sellers where they've actually did the selling on their own, and the buyer failed because they didn't qualify the buyer correctly. Obviously, I took over, I sold it within a certain time, and then all of a sudden the buyer passed because I took time to really look at the application, look at they actually had gifting, whether they were, qualified for income. Because the problem is with co-ops, although they have all these like requirements, there's always these little fine print ones you never know about. There's always these little fine print ones that they always don't show. So going back to what you said, I agree with you 1,000%. Again, it is the neighbors of the buyers who are actually buying place. They want to make sure this neighbor could be in front of you, next to you, on top of you, below you. They want to make sure that you, as a neighbor or community person, actually is going to be a great person, and that you financially sound, okay, both mortgage and maintenance, financially sound, can afford this home, not only for the 6 months, but at least for the year. In some cases, 2 years. So co-ops are not easy to move around. They're human beings. They're not. There's not a cookie cutter. There's no cookie cutter format to this. The only cookie cutter behind it is that you need to follow the requirements that they're asking for in the applications. And then after that, when working with the realtor, hopefully your realtor is actually, working with you in a sense. And I'm sure you do this too, Ed, and I do it a lot, is when it comes to interviews or anything else like that, you prep them. But you're prepping them as though you're doing a job to interview with the neighbors. Go in there, business casual, the least way you should look. Go in there answering good questions. Boom, just blast them and just take care of it from there. So I've actually, look, I'll be honest, I lost co-op, I guess board interviews, and I've gained a lot of them. So there's always a win, there's a loss. But either way, at the end of the day, just want to make sure that the buyer is pretty much financially sound and always has a good step forward when meeting up with the board.
For sure. And look, and if I can give you a tip, if you want to try to outmaneuver them, the only tip I would give you is don't overspeak, don't overtalk. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Ask you a question. For example, let's say the building does allow pets, and they say, "Hey, what kind of dog you have?" Don't tell them the kind of dog you have, how old that dog is, where that dog likes to walk around. Don't give them that information. Hey, what kind of dog you have? I have a Chihuahua. That's it. Oh, what color is it? White. Oh,
Yep.
Where are you moving from? Briarwood. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to give them over
Oh my
information
god.
because, and this happens in sales too, right? We can
Yeah,
easily
yeah, yeah.
talk someone into a deal, and if we continue to speak, we can easily talk them out of the deal. So the key
Absolutely.
is answer the questions that are being asked. Don't give more information. Just give them the answers that they're looking for. Why do you want to move here? I love this place. Love the area. I grew up here. Next question. You know what I mean? Don't give them more than what they're asking for because, like I said, you're going to trip yourself.
Before
It's not going to be good. Go for it, bro.
before you move on, have you ever like over prepped somebody and when they walked in, all they had to say is hi and bye?
No,
And
bro. I
that
have not.
buyer's, oh my god.
This is the first
It
time that,
happened.
I mean, I'm not representing the buyer, but this is the first time
Right.
where the board rejected somebody that we put in front of them. For me,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean. But again, I wasn't representing the buyer. I'm representing the seller in this point.
It's
Um,
okay.
but
I mean,
luckily, like I've prepped them. I've actually no, I'm lying. I prepped one person to the point where they went in there and they didn't even talk about the interview. They were literally the place allowed pets, so they were talking about
yeah,
like cats or something like that, and that was it. You know what I mean? Like they connected,
yeah,
you know.
yeah.
But that was the only time. Like I've never prepped somebody to a point where all they did was say, "Hey," and they're like, "Oh, don't worry about it. You're good. You're approved." Oh, all right, cool. I wish,
So
bro.
I actually had a couple of couples, right, that I'm actually prepping on do's and don'ts, giving them answers, giving them questions, so on and so forth. Because what I do is after the ones that do pass, right, the first thing I ask them is, what questions did they ask you?
Yes.
And I make sure to write those down, right? I make sure that so that usually the questions are usually the same, right? So with that being said, it's just what I do is I prep them. I was prepping these two couples real quick, prepping them, asking them questions. I'm with them 15 minutes, talking to them, making sure they were all dressed, making sure they understood what to wear, making sure they had to be there on time. Getting them to the point that they almost had the anxiety of being in front of the board. They walked into that room. Hey, what's your name? I'm not gonna give names, but Jane Doe, John Doe. Okay, well, nice to meet you. You've been approved. I mean, we'll tell you when you're approved. Have a great day. I was like, what? That's all
That
they
was
did to you,
easy.
right? So it's important to know that. It's important to, even though you put them at that point, you have them, at a good level, no matter what.
For sure.
So
Gigi
yeah,
just
let's move
tuned
on.
in and said, "Hi guys, I will miss you."
Hola! Yeah, we miss you
I
too.
miss you too, Gigi. Safe travels. We hope you get to Puerto Rico safe and sound. I'm Haiti. I wish I
Puerto
was going
Rico.
out there.
Yeah,
But enjoy. Let's go on to the
that's
next one.
focus number 2.
Go ahead, Iz.
Oh, what happened? I don't see it. Oh, here it is. So, myth: spring and summers are the best time to list. Eh, I don't think so. So, why is it not the best? I mean, reason is because of this. Everybody during the fall, summertime, fall, winter time, what happens is that a lot of folks, they tend to rear back. They tend to not want to look for homes because it's too cold or deal with the Christmas situation or has a lot of observations they have to do throughout these clusters of months. So, yes, what happens during the fall winter time is that less competitions are happening, less people are just looking for homes. So now, when you do it at pretty much during the winter, during the fall time, you have less competition. You have more now serious buyers on the market. You have more serious sellers in the market who are ready to get in front to each other and actually buy or make sure that they're always going to buy now. So
Yeah,
I think that's the best thing.
for sure. And we'll throw Gigi in. She says, "I think the best time to
Uh,
list is now." 100%.
Always.
100%. And she took the words right out of my mouth. The truth of the matter is, folks, here we are in New York City. I don't know how the market is from wherever you're tuning in. All right. But if you're here in New York City, I will tell you right now, the winter is feeling like the spring market. right? Correct me if I'm wrong, is everywhere I've been going with these buyers, right? You had an open house with your property over in Queens Village. You had offers coming in through the wazoo, right? You had people that showed up. You were showing that property left and right. I'm gonna be doing an open house with Priscilla for a house in Queens Village this weekend. I'm already getting calls and texts for appointments. So we're not even in the spring. We're not even in summer, and it's getting out of hand. So you're right. You're going to get a lot of competition if you wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the perfect time. If you're thinking about selling, get on the market now. Get out there ahead of time before you're faced with more competition. All right. Regardless of the matter is, in certain areas, it's a seller's market, depending on the type of property that you have. In some areas, it's kind of like a buyer's market. So it all depends in your town. Definitely take a look at it. But I agree with Gigi. I think the best time to sell is now. If you're thinking about it, just speak to an agent, see what they can do to help you get top dollar for that property.
Absolutely.
Try to get it done ASAP. You know what I mean? If you wait for that moment, the perfect time, you're going to face more competition that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then Gigi's
100%.
Gigi's over here telling us that she's going to send us beautiful pictures of the beaches. now she's shoving it in. All right, now Gigi is shoving it in.
It's all right.
Don't worry, Gigi. I know what the beaches look like in Puerto Rico, okay?
That's right.
Send me pictures. I still want to see.
Absolutely.
But awesome, man. Let's go to the next slide. So, using a low commission agent will save you money in the long run. That's if the agent sticks around for the long run, if you're paying them low commission. Okay. And honestly, this is a huge myth, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, we're independent contractors. At the end of the day, we get paid 100% commission. So at the end of the day, if someone is paying you low commission, chances are they're not going to be highly motivated to negotiate in your best interest. As a matter of fact, that also, and unfortunately, this is an unethical thing that happens in real estate, and it happens across the board, is you have a low commission agent. You now run the risk of that agent trying to cut some deals behind your back with the buyers that are coming in. Because if they're not getting paid enough and someone else offers to pay more, think about it. You're hiring somebody to try to work in your best interest, but you're trying to cut them out of getting paid. This is their livelihood. That's like going to work and your boss telling you when you come in one day and says, hey, starting next week, Monday, I'm actually going to pay you 50% of what I was paying you. Chances are you're not going to be highly motivated to assist that person or even work for them. As a matter of fact, you might start looking onto the Open Door, and start looking at other companies to see who's going to be paying you what you were being paid before, if not more. So in the long run, that might damage you or affect you, and you might not even get top dollar. But you swear up and down you were saving money because you were going to pay that agent 1%. That agent won't be highly motivated. Think about it. The agents that you hire also have to invest in your property, right? If I sign a contract with the seller, I also have to pull money out of my pocket to get professional photos done. I also have to pull money out of my pocket to start marketing that property. So all of this goes into what the commission structure is. I'm not trying to take X amount percentage from the commission. We have to pay out outside agents. We have to market your property. We have to take photos of your property. We also have to drive there to show the property, meet with people to go through that. All that is time, and that's time unaccounted for that people don't see. So if you got a low commission agent, in my opinion, that's going to hurt you in the long run. You're actually going to lose money because they're not going to be as motivated to work in your best interest. That's just my opinion.
I agree. And, I think Gigi has said something, and we have somebody else saying something as well.
Yeah, so we'll put that up right here real quick. Gigi ended up saying, you will always get what you pay for 100%. With a discount broker, you will get discounted service and low co-broke interest 100%, right?
Yeah, I agree.
George threw it out there. Low commission may not present all offers. They might hide stuff from you. And it's, again, I'm not saying that it's something that is okay. It's not okay, you know? It's not okay that agents would do this. But again, you run this risk if you're dealing with a low commission agent, right? They're going to come in and take photos with their phone. The photos are going to come out upside down somehow. We don't know how these photos come out upside down, but they put it out there and they know it and they still don't care and they still don't fix it. And then you're going to find yourself showing your own home to all these people coming through the door, because if a buyer comes in and they have their own agent, I can almost guarantee you that the listing agent, if he's getting paid low commission, is not even going to show up. Oh, they got their own agent. Hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, so-and-so agent is coming by. I told him to present you his business card so that he can identify himself as a realtor, but he has his client. They're going to show the place. Just giving you a heads up, right? I don't think that's cool.
I agree. I mean, look, low commission agents, honestly, goes to so many things you've said and so many things what everybody else is saying too. Is one, if they're not willing to negotiate for the commission, how they're going to negotiate for the price that you're looking for top dollars. Two, what they get generally will split with other agents, and again, some agents, they don't. They want to work for their money in the sense that when they see it slow, they want to work for the person who's willing to be more motivated to sell their home, right? So if you're selling your home at a higher rate per se, then that means you're motivated. You're ready to sell your home right away versus having to deal with a discounted agent. Now, dealing with a discounted agent goes back to a couple of things you have mentioned. Your discounted agent means you're getting discounted services, meaning that you're not going to get the Photoshop. You're just going to get an iPhone photo. You're not going to get the video. You're going to get an iPhone video. You're not going to get a floor plan. You're just going to get a pencil version floor plan. So, you're just going to get a lot of discounts going on. And again, when you look at it, when you look at the stuff that you have around the house, it's like, did you get things that were discounted or did you get things that were, worth the value? You're not going to have a B-rated person, to deal with the most investment portion of your home. The most highly invested stuff that you have. You want somebody who's going to be there and do the right work for the shortest amount of time. Also, a low commission agent, the way I see it is that if you're at that level, if you're willing to accept that at the same time, one last thing is, how much value do you see yourself getting? There is no true value. You have to value yourself in the sense that, you're worth more. It doesn't mean that because you're getting a low commission, you're going to get more business out of this. You're not going to get more business. I can guarantee that. You're not going to get more business. You're just going to get pretty much, a lot of the low situation. And again, at the end of the day, once you break down your entire commission check, at the end of the day, honestly, you're not getting much. You're probably getting enough to basically buy some things at 7-Eleven or a dollar menu at McDonald's. So, long story short, I mean, I'm not going to keep on with this, but the point is, low commission just means that you're pretty much discounting the service that your home deserves, all right, in order to get you top dollars in shortest amount of time.
No, it's true. And like I said, it's unfortunate. I seen that it happened to me, man. Like it happened to me. I had a listing. We did an open house. We showed it to over 40 families within 2 days. And with that, we had 15 offers on the table. But I'm telling you, man, I had some guys that were coming in, right? They were offering me cash on the side, and their offers were lower than the other offers that were coming in. But because they didn't have an agent and they were like willing to kind of work with me on that end, right? That's what they were trying to do. The good news is I wasn't getting paid low commission. The good news is I negotiated my commission to what was fair for both myself and the sellers. So when people came up to me and said, hey, brother, I could hook you up, just try to get my offer accepted, the answer was, yo, you got to get your offer up, bro. There's 15 other offers that are coming through the table. But think about it. If someone was getting paid low commission and somebody was offering them cash under the table, and if that cash amounted to more than the commission that the seller was going to pay them, I'm sorry, but we're going through a lot of stuff right now in this world, man. People are trying to survive. You know what I mean? If they don't get caught, they're going to keep going until they get caught. They're going to keep doing it. So you might think you're getting away with it and you might think you're saving money, but ultimately in the long run, think about it. you could have had these offers that were over the asking price. If it was priced competitively, you could have had great offers coming in, but because your agent was getting paid low commission, low to nothing, they probably didn't even show it to you. And they were like, oh,
it goes back. It goes back to I was helping out a mentee real quick, and it goes back to an objection I said, which was, you really want to, pay for your services. You're not going to pay discounted for it at the end of the day.
It's true. It's true. We spent some time there, but all right, no big deal.
And then, I mean, one more thing real quick, and if you think about it this way too, and I just thought about something else, in the sense that it's like, you go to a mechanic shop to fix your car, and you don't want to pay them for the service that they've done. Like what? It's like you got to pay. You got to pay for the service that they're putting in.
Sometimes you hear the story, oh, I went to this shop right here, real cheap, real affordable. Next thing you know, something happens next week. And you're like, oh, you take it back to the same guy. And then all of a sudden, 3 months down the road, you're like, ever since I started taking my car, something new just keeps breaking down. And naturally, we blame that person.
And it costs more. So when you buy something cheap, and I hate to say it this way, but if you buy something in the discounted level, it costs more in the long run.
Yes.
You got to put money into it. You got to put money into what you want. So if you buy something at discount, it's going to cost you in the long run.
Yeah.
Houses, it's going to be in the market for a long period of time, as we mentioned earlier. You want that sold quick. Anyways, let's move on. Yeah, you're right.
No, it was good, man. It's good. For me, it's good information. So
absolutely.
Myth.
Myth number next. Myth number next.
Myth number. Forgot about which one it was.
I forgot where we're up to now. So anyway, the first buyer to make an offer will always lowball you. I don't know about that.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to pick off of what this comment that just came in. Thanks for a comment
for our service. Okay.
So yeah, seller does have to pay, but I've seen some people get it from the buyer's end too. It all depends, but yeah, they should. A smart way to try to do it is negotiate the commission for both buyers and for both buyer's agent and your own agent, as yourself. I'm sorry. But yeah, you could try to negotiate it and get the sellers to pay for the services. They got to see value behind it, But sorry about that, Israel.
Yeah.
Go for it, bro.
No, don't be. And I totally agree. It goes back to value. If they don't see the value, then look, honestly, it's really, when you pay for a discount, you're going to get discounted services out of it.
For sure.
I keep using that. So first buyer to make an offer will always lowball you. Honestly, it's nor here nor there for me. It's always a starting point. They always want a discount in the beginning. So
everybody
it depends on the market. I mean, as I said to a seller once, it's like when you're going to buy a home, do you want to pay full price for something?
Nobody does.
No, nobody does. When you go buy a car, you're not going to pay full price for it. You're always negotiating. So to answer this question, I mean, the first buyer to make an offer will always be lowball. I don't know whether it be lowball, but it won't be the asking price that they're asking for. That just means that they're either trying to get a discount or they don't see the true value of the home, which is fine. It is a starting point. Let's just try to, negotiate with them and go from there. Okay. And if it's good pricing, as we've been saying so far throughout all this, then you know what? If that person's that low and they're not willing to go up, then their competition of other buyers will just come up, and you'll have better offers on there.
No, it's true.
Okay.
And I like what you said, man, because quite frankly, if you price it right, that offer is probably going to come in for what you're asking for. When you start to get offers coming in for the asking price, then you did a good job. That's my opinion.
Right.
You priced it right. You priced it fair. That's just going to create more competition. And if you start getting offers at what the asking price is, that you're going to go up from there. Now, granted, you're still going to get people that come in with the low offers. I'm not saying you won't get that.
Always.
But I think, like you said, everybody is looking for a great deal, period. Nobody wants to pay whatever that number is. They'll pay it, though, if they fall in love with the place. They'll even pay more than that if they fall in love with the place. So it all comes down to that. If they can connect, if they can see themselves living there, if you can show them the vision that place has, That's all it takes. They'll fall in love, and if the
So,
value is there, they'll pay what the asking price is, if not more.
and if you're on the seller side as far as agents, here's a good tip. I mean, if you want to say this, it's up to you. Is that, always ask, that buyer's agent or the buyer's, is that your best offer?
Yeah.
Right. Or if you're, either way, buyer or seller, because this works also, you can always say, let's show them how much you love it. And then from there, it'll probably go as close to the asking price. But lowballing, I mean, to me, lowballing will be maybe 10% or 15% less than what the asking price is. Yeah. That could be lowballing for me. So anyways, it could be different for everyone else. So let's move on to the next one. So getting pre-approved is done after finding your perfect home. Oh, Lord.
You know what really pisses me off about this? Is that there's lenders that actually do promote this. There's lenders, and where I see it the most, to be honest, where I see it the most? It's actually when you're dealing with the big banks, right? Like the main banks that everybody sees when they walk or drive down the road, and there's the Bank of Americas, the Chases, they always do that. It's like you go to the bank and they're like, okay, find which home you want to buy, and then bring us all the information and we'll take it from there. And then buyers come out, they're like, and we're doing our job. Seller wants to make sure that we're letting in qualified individuals who are ready, willing, and able to purchase now.
Yes, sir.
And the minute we have that conversation and it's like, hey, have you been pre-approved? They're like, well, I spoke to the bank and they told me to find the place I want first, and then we can get pre-approved. So show me the place. And it's like, you do realize that someone saw this place yesterday. So when you're going to come see this place today, chances are they're going to try to make that offer today. The time it's going to take for you to get that bank to give you a pre-approval could take 2 weeks. 2 weeks from now, that property is going to be under contract. You know what I mean? Yep. So get it out of the way. The other thing is, you don't know what your budget is, right? You're blindfolded because the bank said, find the house you like first and we'll get you pre-approved. They didn't verify any of the documents. They didn't verify your credit. They didn't verify your income. They didn't do none of that stuff. They're just like, all right, cool.
Right.
Let us know when you find it. And then you find a place, you fall in love, and you're like, oh my God, I love this place. This is the one. What if you go back to the bank and then the bank says, I'm sorry, you don't qualify for that amount. You qualify for less. You could have saved all that time. Now there's an emotional attachment. You fell in love. You hate your realtor because they didn't guide you the right way. You hate the bank because now they don't want to give you the money, even though they said they were going to do it before. Now they're not after they verify. You're stressed out. You don't even want to buy anymore.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And I agree with this 1,000%, and it goes through steps. We have buyer agents who just take them out anyways, right? So you go into a house, whether it's $500,000, $600,000, whatever the case may be, and that's pretty much our market. And you go in there, and now, I mean, you're like, oh my God, I'm in love, just like you said. But then you go to your bank, and they do all the qualifications that they need to do, whether it's the bank or lenders, whatever it is. They do the qualifications, and all you can afford is $450. What? It's like, what are we doing here? What so it's a lot of wasted time. And as you said, again, I agree with that 1,000% in the sense that, it's here today, gone tomorrow kind of situation. Another thing, it's like, I just had a conversation with a buyer yesterday. He put in an offer on one of my listings. Great. Oh my God, it was over asking. I'm like, yeah, great. Send me the pre-approval, send me all the information so I can look at it before, sending out the offer. I need a pre-approval. What? It's like, hold on a second, buddy. How you put in a number without knowing whether you can afford it first, right? So the point is, it's, again, pre-approvals are just, they're just informations for both the seller and the agent to say, yes, you've been qualified enough. You went through the ringer with the lenders, with the banks. You're qualified enough to actually buy the home at a certain level, a certain price, so you can move forward. And again, there's times where I've actually in the past have dealt with buyers where, they actually don't have the pre-approval. It was a slower market at that time. They didn't have the pre-approval, but they lost the deal because other buyers were already fully prepared to submit that offer at that moment, and all of a sudden they lost the house. So you have to be fully prepared. I mean, again, you're going to go buy something, a big investment of yours. be fully prepared for it.
Yeah.
So
There's nothing better than a buyer having all their ducks in a row. Because the minute you
yeah,
present offers, these offers are more sound. Hey, we got the pre-approval, banks already vetted them,
yeah,
they're checked, credit's been
hmm
verified, income's been verified. We can literally give them a freaking commitment letter right now. We just need the contract. You know what I mean? It's like that's someone who's prepared. That's someone who's like, all right, this person's a serious buyer. But unfortunately, and especially now, it's if you're showing up, it's not that people don't believe that you're a serious buyer. It's just if you were serious, you would have got this done a long time ago. Now, if you're
yes,
starting the process, then there's a difference. Maybe you're not as serious as you're claiming to be. Maybe you want to purchase, but you need some time to get everything in line. That's okay too. No one's mad about that. We just want to be
right,
straightforward from the beginning. You know what I mean? If you're going out looking at houses to get an idea, what kind of idea are you going to get? You know what I mean?
yeah,
You want to
exactly,
look at houses to see the conditions of the properties. That's fantastic. But what if you fall in love? What if you want to
mm,
make an offer and you have
mm,
nothing prepared? Then what? Right? Oh, give me some time, hold the house for me. No one's holding the house, man. Right now, and it's crazy. Right now, it's you can't waste time. I tell buyers that all the time. I tell the buyers, I'm not pressuring you to make a decision right away. I just want you to
right,
understand how the market is working. And as of right now, it's almost forcing people to make a decision quickly. You see the place. Do
yeah,
you feel good? Do you love the place? If you feel good and you love the place, make the offer, but be prepared.
yeah. You just want to show your buyer strength. That's all it is. You want to show your buying power, and some people call it buyer strength, as some people call it. You just want to show the seller that you're ready to move forward and show them how motivated you are. And from there we can actually negotiate the price and so on and so forth. But first, this kind of information, because again, I mean, I've heard buyers agents who don't take buyers out without a pre-approval. So they don't want to waste time either, but it's okay. Again, do the right thing. I think the one myth that's not here to where is that because they have to do the pre-approval, it's not there because they have to do the pre-approval, and by them looking, they don't want to mess up their credit.
Yeah.
Look, speak to your lender. They'll take care of you no matter what. Don't worry about it.
And just to add about the credit part, come to find out, some lenders will tell you don't run your credit at other places because it's going to affect you. Just know the truth of the matter is, if you're looking to purchase, okay, and you're looking for a mortgage and you're running your credit with all the banks, 5, 6 different banks, it's still going to count
Yep.
as one inquiry, as one hard hit, because the credit bureaus realize that you're looking for a mortgage to purchase a home. And as long as you're doing
Yes.
that within a certain time period, you're okay. If you're running your credit for a mortgage, a car, credit cards, a new Home Depot gift card, a travel card from Delta, and all this other stuff, then yes, it's going to impact your credit. You're going to get hit with a bunch of hard inquiries. But if you're only looking for a mortgage, you can shop around. So don't let any of these lenders tell you, oh, don't go running your credit with all these other companies because you're gonna get a bunch of hard inquiries. That should have been up here as a myth. Even though we're not lenders, that should be up here.
Right.
The truth of the matter
That
is,
should be one of them.
you could run your credit as long as you're doing it within a certain time frame. I think it's like 3 months.
Yeah.
But as long as you're doing it within that certain time frame, it all counts as one hard inquiry. It doesn't matter if you're going to
Absolutely.
different banks, you're looking for a mortgage. So keep that in mind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a good one. I like that one.
You know? So myth
So
number, God knows what. Buyers will appreciate your renovation as much as you do. We spoke about this earlier, and Gigi had mentioned a golden bidet in one of our last episodes, where people have these great little features in their home. At the end of the day, when you renovate a home, and I tell this to buyers every time I show them a home that needs to be updated, this is a blank canvas. You can renovate this home to your liking. And I think that's great for people who are planning to live there for some time. If you're trying to sell your house, don't renovate it, because the person coming in might not like they might not like what you did. They might not like the tiles you're going to pick out, or the paint you're going to pick out, or the cabinets you're going to pick out, or even the layout of the kitchen that you're going to design. They might not like that. It's easier to sell it. Again, price your home right. Maybe you want to include the fact that, like, for example, I have a listing that I know that market's calling for a certain amount, but I ran the numbers, right? If it costs $40,000 to renovate the place and to bring it back to market standards, what does that mean? Lower the price about $40,000. That way it's enticing. That way people coming in are like, oh, this place needs work. Yes, this is how much that work costs. That's why we're priced where we're priced. People like that. You know, this is a blank canvas. You could do it to your liking. If you're going to go ahead and renovate it yourself, please don't get a golden bidet. Don't put that golden bidet in there thinking that because it's made out of you're going to get another $40,000 on top of your sale. Come on, let's be honest. Not everyone uses golden bidets. And a lot of people here in the States believe that you could get an infection from that. So, you know, don't include it. Don't include it.
It's funny how you said that, and then you had that little ding. I don't know if everyone else heard it, but
that was a message.
So renovation is a message for someone, right? So, renovations. Honestly, look, again, going back to selling. When you're selling your home, you have to really detach yourself from the emotions of this home. You have to detach yourself from the sale of this home. You know, let it be to the point of what you're selling. That's it. You're selling your home, your biggest investment, right? Mm-hmm. So renovating in the sense, so it depends on. I think it depends on sort of the degree on that, and I'll cut it really short in the sense that, you know, if you're going to repaint, maybe, you know, do your flooring because it looks disgusting or whatever. That's fine. But if you're redoing the entire house, you know, that's a different story, right? So you really want to the point that, again, you know, make it to the point that it's sort of not neutral, but sort of palatable, you know, with a nice little palette of color, white, you know, whatever, and just make it in the sense that when they walk in, perfect words you use is that it's an open canvas for them to figure out exactly what they want to do as buyers, what they want to walk into, and how they're going to put their, you know, their living room, not the way you have it, but the way they want it, you know, because not everyone has the same furniture. So always have the idea of when you're actually going into that house or when you're about to sell that house, you know, have the idea that what you're going to take with you versus what you're going to renovate. Because again, it's all based on renovation. I think should be very minimal versus major.
For sure. And Barbara, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you. She said so true. Beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. I agree with that.
Yes.
That's who we are as realtors, right, folks? That's who we are. If you're an agent, that's who we are. We have to paint the picture for these people so that they can see it. They might not be able to visualize it, but the minute you can show them the way or the opportunities that place has, that's when they'll start opening up their eyes.
Absolutely. Right? Absolutely.
And
all right, so that's it.
Just in time. Look at that. With 2 minutes to spare. Awesome. All right. With 2 minutes to spare. So, guys, we appreciate you for tuning in. We appreciate the comments in the chat box. Thank you for everyone. I want to thank everyone for throwing their 2 cents in and commenting. So we appreciate it.
Absolutely.
But to wrap it all up, do you have any last words?
Oh, you know what? It's winter. Stay warm. Stay productive.
I like it.
And I look forward to working with each and every one person that came on, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Thank you.
Definitely. And if you folks have any questions, feel free to reach out. I know we do this every time. Again, you can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at NYC Homes with Ed. You can feel free to reach out, give me a call, shoot me a message. And if you see me in the streets, I still hug and shake, handshake and everything. I know we're going through some crazy times, but I still give hugs. So if you're open for it, we could do that. And where can they find you at, brother?
Definitely, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, so on and so forth, pretty much as Israel Martinez NYC. You can find me all throughout those social media platforms that way. And again, if you see me in the streets, feel free to say hello. You want to ask me questions, call me, text me, DM me, whatever you want. And actually, Ed, I actually was trying to do the kid and play kind of shake. If you remember with the little elbow.
Yeah, the elbow.
I was trying to say hello to somebody like that, but it didn't work out. So nobody.
Bringing it back. Yeah, it was like you
thing.
ended up kicking them in the shin, you elbowed them in the head. And you're like, damn, bro, I thought you were onto this. You know?
But everyone stay safe. COVID is still out there. Stay warm. Winter's still out there. Stay productive. You know, we all want to be, you know, fruitful with our business. So keep doing it. I look forward to hearing from everyone. And again, I look forward to making, you know, a deal or two with everyone out there. So
for sure.
I look forward to it, man.
Yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate your time. Until next Friday, you can catch us at Real Estate Unwrapped. Till then, have a phenomenal weekend. Enjoy, stay blessed, stay humble. We love you guys. Peace.
Adios.